Welcome back to New York Outcast. I've been on YouTube for about a year now, so I figured this might be a good time to give a little review of where I'm at, what I have into it, and maybe some thoughts on what I've come across in the last year. So this little segment might be one or two videos, so let's get started. So this will start off with basically what it took for me to make videos. I wanted to do this as cheap as possible. I've never been in anything like this prior or any kind of video making. So basically to just feel it out, see what it was going to be like. I pretty much created a list. That's what I got here of what I needed to actually make videos, which got me up through this last year. So I figure I'll start with that. And I'll start with the things that are free or that I had anyway. So obviously I needed a PC. I suppose you could do it on a phone. I just figured with editing and stuff, and well, technically I needed a PC anyway. I had a PC, so PC is already included. That's basically free. The phone I'm using right now, instead of a camera or in place of a camera, is a Samsung Galaxy S5. So that's an old phone that didn't cost me anything to do this because I've already had it in my possession. And the camera seems to work well, so I just kept running with it. And also YouTube. Obviously YouTube's free. They also offer editing tools. They have a YouTube editor, so some of my music has come from there, and that's why it's not all necessarily great music. They've been adding to it over the last year, I've noticed, the music selection, but it's still something, there's still a lot to be desired there. So plus it's very hard to go through so many, and the amount of time you may have available to work on a video. So granted, other people could do other things and use a different editor and put it all together, but this was quick, easy, cheap, and me, so, which isn't great on the tech oriented. So so those things basically I had anyway. Again, that's a camera, that's a PC, Windows 10 editor, and YouTube and the YouTube tools. So that kind of handles that area. I ended up making a few things just because I'm cheap and I had scrap materials and didn't really see the need to purchase, which would be the stand that's holding the phone right now, and actually there's a phone holder. I should have grabbed a picture, and a stand that I use for indoors. So excuse me. The stand has obviously a base to it, a riser, and a place to put the phone holder. I also made a outside stand, which is basically box steel that's painted not to rust and whatnot, with an area I can attach the same phone holder, which is holding the phone now, onto the pole outside and just stake it into the ground, and it works fine. So that leads me to the things I bought. I did purchase a webcam, which was this Logitech here. I like the video on it. The sound is pretty good when you're like sitting like this, using it for what it's intended for, but if you're kind of far back, it's kind of like a tin can kind of sound. It's not the best. It's not horrible, but it's not the best. So I would recommend this for a lot of things, still shots, all types of stuff. They do have a newer model that was out when I purchased this, which I should have waited for, but it was sold out. I believe that one's about 105, 110 bucks, and this one was like 75. So it's the Logitech C920S Pro, and I barely use this, to be honest with you. This is something I probably didn't even need to purchase, but needless to say, I did purchase that. and that was like around the 76 bucks. So that's one thing. I also purchased a separate mic, which is what I'm using right here. That's why it's exposed. This was very cheap online, comes with a travel bag, so I use that when I go to rallies or anything like that. Obviously you can speak direct to the phone, but it doesn't pick it up very well, so anything with a large crowd or anything, it's better to kind of mic yourself there, that I found being an amateur. So this thing was like basically dirt cheap, ordered online, and it was, let's see, like 15 bucks delivered. I think it was less, but I'm rounding up. I think it was like 13 bucks, but needless to say, works pretty good, I think. So that's another item I picked up. I also grabbed the earbuds, which I normally had anyway, but I added this to the list because normally I don't have a mic on my earbuds. So I picked up a set that does. These are just cheap Skull Candy earbuds. They were like, let's see, 12 bucks, and that's rounding up again. And these tend to work quite well. I've noticed on live streams and stuff, I tend to have better sound than a lot of people. So whether that's a good thing or not, I don't know, but it works out good for the price. And I also picked up one of these cheap power supplies for keeping phones charged, things like that, when traveling to actually video the videos. And this thing works so-so. Worked great when I first got it. It doesn't seem to work as well now. So granted, there's probably a lot better brands. I bought a cheap one. This is Black Web at the time. And this thing was, let's see, 20 bucks. So yeah, but it has worked, and that I have kind of had to depend on. So that was something that, you know, definitely hit the list here. And I've also purchased a light, which is a standard like shop light, LED strip light. It was cheap, 23 bucks. That helps. I know my lighting's not the best in here. There's shadows. This was never designed to be a studio, and I don't have the knowledge to make it a studio, basically. So I suppose I could, but again, I was trying to do all this on the cheap, so I'm hoping the lighting at least provides adequate lighting when I'm showing a product or something. So which in my opinion it seems to. So at that point I'm happy with it. So basically, in the end, totaled those items up there, I spent like 146 bucks. So, and that's rounding up. So I spent 146 bucks to get me the 50 plus videos I've made so far. Thanks for joining me. Keep an eye out for part 2 if you're interested.